Revealed, the touching moment a billionaire discovers life-changing friendship with a black girl. Alex Thompson, the mastermind behind a multi-million-dollar tech startup, was suffocating under the weight of his family's expectations. Naperville, Illinois, with its manicured lawns and perfectly aligned luxury cars, felt like a gilded cage. Each day, Alex donned his tailored suits like armor against the world that expected nothing less than perfection. But inside, he battled a gnawing emptiness. Despite his success, he found no joy in the accolades. Amidst the affluence, a longing for something more substantial brewed within him. Then came the call to participate in a community outreach program that paired affluent mentors with local youth. Initially, Alex brushed it off, feeling only begrudged duty. Yet, the day arrived when he stepped into the classroom, a place filled with hopeful faces that shattered his preconceived notions. That's where he met Jada. Jada was a 12-year-old girl, her laughter bright enough to cut through the gloom of her underprivileged neighborhood in Chicago. In her wide eyes, Alex saw dreams of becoming a scientist, aspirations that glimmered like stars against the harsh backdrop of poverty and prejudice. The contrast was stark. Her resilience was like a gust of fresh air, a vitality he didn't know he craved. As she spoke about her dreams, Alex felt a warmth start to thaw the icy veneer he had built around his heart. Together, they explored science experiments, laughter intertwining with the clinking of glass beakers. Their budding friendship was a beacon of hope, two worlds colliding in the most unexpected way. Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue. However, as Alex embraced this newfound friendship, whispers began swirling in his affluent circle. Why is he spending time with her? They asked, raising brows and shaking heads in disapproval. His family's glances felt like daggers, taunting him with their expectations of who he should associate with. Their comments hung heavy in the air, a painful reminder of how deep societal prejudices run. The world had labeled Jada before even knowing her. But everything changed the day Jada faced an outright act of prejudice. Watching her experience that injustice ignited a fire in Alex. Anger surged through him, a sharp contrast to the complacency he had grown used to. He was determined to stand up for her, and thus the idea of a grand gesture took shape in his mind. But one reckless move later, instead of bridging the divide, he made it worse. Jada felt more isolated, and Alex was engulfed in guilt and confusion. The looming community gathering was a chance for reckoning. As he stood before familiar faces that once brought admiration, Alex felt the familiar pressure of privilege weighing him down. Would he choose silence and conformity, or fight for the girl who opened his eyes to the power of kinship? The air trembled with tension. Alex took a breath, the room holding its collective breath with him, as the moment of truth approached. Alex's heart raced as he faced the gathered crowd. Familiar smiles turned cold, their curious gazes like icy stares boring into him. He could feel the weight of their expectations pressing down. His family stood off to the side, their disapproval palpable. It felt as if the air had thickened, each breath becoming a challenge. Why are you doing this? A voice from the back sneered, puncturing the tense silence. It was Derek, a childhood friend who had always taken pride in his family's wealth. Are you trying to be a hero or something? The laughter that rippled through the room tightened Alex's throat. This wasn't about heroism, it was about humanity. Jada's face flashed in his mind, her laughter replaced by the pain he had seen earlier. He could still remember the weight of her disappointment when he had stumbled, the tears that glistened in her eyes as he looked away. The stakes were higher than social standing, they tore at his very identity. Enough! He shouted, startling himself with the force of his voice. The room silenced instantly, all eyes on him. For a moment, he felt suspended in time. Nothing existed but the now, the anger and determination coursing through him. What matters is that every single person in this community has the right to dream no matter their background, no matter their skin color, he continued, the words spilling out with unexpected fervor. I've spent too long following the path others laid out for me, blind to the struggles of those less privileged. Jada is brilliant. She deserves opportunities, just like any of us. He paused, taking in the shocked faces. And I'll be damned if I stand here, watching people belittle her just because she doesn't fit their mold. This isn't just about me anymore. This is about all of us. A murmur spread through the crowd, disbelief mingled with curiosity. He caught a glimpse of Jada's face in his mind's eye again, lit with hope and resilience. Would she see him differently? Would she forgive him for failing her when it mattered most? The thought simmered in him, fear battling the flicker of hope that began to spark. Just as he felt the tide turning, a figure stepped forward. It was his mother, her perfectly coiffed hair framing a face rarely touched by anything but approval. Alex, she started, her tone cautious but firm, you're making a huge mistake. You can't honestly believe you truly understand. Maybe I don't, he interrupted, his own confidence surprising him. But I want to. I want to learn. I want to understand. The air crackled with tension, stirring with mixed reactions. Some faces softened, while others hardened further. He took a step forward, searching the crowd for a familiar spark, something to anchor him. Yet his gaze landed right on Jada's empty desk, and the realization struck him, she might not be in attendance anymore, and that thought slashed deep. Where's Jada? He called out suddenly, anxiety thrumming in his chest. A silence fell before someone from the back spoke up. She wasn't coming after what happened. Their voice trailed off, but Alex heard enough. Panic tight in his throat, Alex pushed through the throng of people, oblivious to the whispers following him. He had to find her. She needed to know he wouldn't give up on her, no matter the cost. As he rushed out into the cool evening air, he felt a new sense of purpose ignite deep inside him. Would she hear him out? Would she let him make things right? With uncertainty gnawing at him, Alex burst into the street, determined to reclaim the friendship that had meant everything to him. But with every heartbeat, one thought loomed large: what if it was too late? Alex's feet pounded against the pavement, adrenaline propelling him forward as he blinked away, the stinging heat prickling in his eyes. His thoughts chased after him, wild and frantic. What if he never got to say sorry? What if he never got the chance to explain? He turned a corner, scanning the streets for any sign of Jada. The neighborhood looked familiar yet foreign, shadows stretching long as the sun dipped lower on the horizon. Each storefront, each parked car, each distant voice echoed memories of laughter and advice, connections woven into the fabric of their friendship. Jada! He called out, the name tearing from his lips like a desperate plea. The name filled the air, bouncing back to him and amplifying his fear. He pressed on, weaving past people heading home from work, oblivious to the urgency churning inside him. He spotted a park up ahead, the scene shifting to families and friends enjoying the cool evening air, and felt a flicker of hope. It had always been their spot, a place where dreams seemed possible, a haven where they could talk about everything and nothing. He dashed toward it, hoping to somehow find her there. As he entered the park, he scanned the benches, the trees, but found no trace of her. Still, he walked through, each step heavy with frustration. Where are you? He muttered, nearly stumbling over a stray dog. If Jada had been here, she would have laughed. Maybe she would have shared a joke to lighten the moment. It pained him to think of all the laughter they had exchanged, now overshadowed by the weight of his mistakes. That he stopped near the swings, recalling their countless conversations beneath starlit skies, making promises they thought would last forever. With a sigh, he plopped onto the swing, kicking the dirt lightly. The movement felt nostalgic but hollow without Jada beside him. A rustling noise caught his attention, and he turned to see a small group of kids playing nearby. They were tossing a basketball, their laughter bubbling up, innocent and unbothered. It tore at him, reminding him of the carefree moments he and Jada had shared. Suddenly, He felt the sting of regret deeper than before. He leaned forward, head in hands. Why had he let fear and social pressure dictate his actions? Why had he chosen silence over standing up for her? His mind spiraled, weighing the depth of his choices against the warmth of his friendship. Just then, through the din of laughter, he caught a glimpse of a familiar figure. It was her, a quiet silhouette against the setting sun. Jada stood by the edge of the park, the outlined sunbeam catching the glimmer of her hair. Even from a distance, he could see the tension in her stance. "Jada!" he shouted, rising immediately. She turned slowly, her expression unreadable. Heart racing, he moved closer, urgency driving him. The world shrank around them, it felt like the two of them and nothing else. As he approached, he noticed the slight tremor in her hand and the unmistakable sadness in her eyes. "Please, can we talk?" he pleaded, desperation threading through his voice. Jada's gaze flicked down, uncertainty battling within her. For a moment, it felt like the universe held its breath. "I don't know, Alex," but before she could finish, the weight of their past hung between them, thick and heavy. Alex felt as if all his fears could spill out with those words. "Please. I need to make this right," he urged, the sincerity spilling forth. He stepped closer, his heart pounding louder than the laughter around them. Would they move past the pain? The atmosphere shifted, charged with unspoken emotions. He needed her to understand how much she meant to him. Yet, a flicker of doubt teased at the corner of his mind. What if she couldn't forgive him? Jada's eyes met his, a tempest brewing within them. The light was fading, the day slipping away, and yet this moment felt suspended, charged with everything that had happened and everything still unsaid. She drew in a sharp breath, the soft sound cutting through the hum of the park. It stirred a deep pang in Alex's chest. "What do you even want from me, Alex?" she asked, the weight of her words hanging heavy in the air. "Do you think an apology will fix everything?" He opened his mouth, but no words came out. He felt the truth of her question. It felt absurd, dismissive, and yet she had a reason to be angry. He closed his eyes for a moment, gathering his thoughts. "No," he finally said softly. "I don't think it will fix it all. I want you to know that I see you. I see what happened, and I know I messed up. That I should have stood by you." His heart thudded painfully as he took a tentative step forward. "I should have fought for you." Jada shifted her weight, and for a split second, he thought she might step back. But instead, she stayed rooted to her spot, crossing her arms as if to shield herself from the rush of emotions he could sense in the air. Fighting would have meant speaking up. "You were quiet, Alex. Like what happened didn't matter." "I know," he replied, frustration tinging his voice. "I was scared for you, for myself. I let that fear control me instead of doing the right thing." Her gaze dimmed slightly, a flicker of vulnerability breaking through her guarded expression. "It hurt to see someone I trusted not say anything while I was being attacked. You were supposed to be my friend." "I am," he said desperately. "I want to be your friend again, Jada. I want to earn back that trust." He took another step closer, emboldened by the faint glimmer of hope in her eyes. "Let me show you how much you mean to me, how much our friendship means. Just give me a chance." Jada's breath trembled, and he couldn't tell if it was anger or something more tender fighting for surface. "And what makes you think I can just forgive you? It won't happen overnight, and I don't expect it to. I just want a chance to prove to you that I can do better, that I can be better. You've always been there for me, and I'll be there for you too." As silence wrapped around them, Alex felt the atmosphere shift again. It was as if the entire park were waiting, still and breathless. He could see the conflict in her eyes, a war of emotions raging just beneath her exterior. "What if I can't forget?" she finally murmured, a hint of softness grazing her voice. "Then let us not forget. Let us learn from it. I don't want to erase what happened, I want to learn from it so it can make us stronger." The sincerity in his voice hung in the balance, and for a fleeting moment, he thought she might take a step toward him. But instead, she looked away, as if drawing strength from the distance. "I have been so lost since that day," she admitted. "Trying not to be hurt has consumed me." As the sun dipped below the horizon, Alex felt a chill of fear, the fear of rejection. "What can I do to help you feel found again?" he said, his voice low but steady. "The only way to find me is to really see me," Jada replied, turning back to face him, her eyes glistening with unshed tears. "But can you really do that?" The weight of her question settled heavy on his shoulders. He took a deep breath, resolute. "I will try. I'll do whatever it takes." But as Jada studied him, uncertainty clouded her expression, and Alex's heart sank with the realization that the road ahead would be more complicated than he had hoped. Would she let him back in? Would they ever find each other again amidst the hurt? As Jada hesitated, he could feel the moments slipping away, each second stretching into eternity. "This is my chance, isn't it?" he thought desperately. But as he waited for her answer, Alex knew that there were no guarantees. Could they rebuild what was broken together despite the weight of the past? The silence stretched, thick and heavy. Jada's eyes shimmered in the dimming light, each blink a battle between old wounds and newfound hope. Alex held his breath, desperate to break through the wall of uncertainty that still stood between them. "Do you remember that time at the lake?" Jada asked softly, her voice barely rising above the whisper of the evening breeze. Alex's heart skipped. Memories washed over him, warm sun and laughter mingling with the calm water. "Of course. We were so carefree. It felt like it was just you and me," she continued, a soft smile breaking through her guarded expression. "Before everything changed." His chest tightened at her words. "I wish things could go back to that spot in time." "Do you really think we can have that again?" Jada's gaze drifted, lost in the memories but tinged with doubt. "It's not about going back, it's about moving forward, together," Alex said, taking a tentative step closer. "I want to understand everything that hurt you. I want to be part of your life again, to be there without hesitation." She looked at him, her expression softening. "But that's the thing. You don't know what that looks like. You don't understand the kind of battles I face every day." "I want to learn," he urged, his voice stronger now. "I want to know. All of it. If you let me, I can be there with you." Her eyes searched his, looking for cracks in the honesty he was trying so hard to convey. "And if it's too much? If I drown in it and push you away?" "If you push me away, I'll still be here. I'm not going anywhere. Not this time." Jada's breath hitched, her fingers trembling as she pressed them to her lips. "What if I'm not strong enough? What if it still hurts too much? Then I'll stand with you until you are." "If it's hard, I want to share that heaviness," he said, the urgency lacing his words like a plea. For the first time, she leaned a fraction closer, the distance between them shrinking under the weight of their shared truth. "Are you really ready for all of this? For my past? My fears?" "More than anything," he replied, his voice steady. "Let me carry it with you." A single tear slipped down her cheek, and it felt like a breakthrough, a crack in the dam of emotions she had held back for so long. "You know, it terrifies me to trust. But I'm willing to try." Hope flickered in Alex's chest. "Then let us start there. Just one step at a time." She nodded slowly, but before he could feel fully relieved, she added, "But if I fall, I can't promise I won't drag you down with me." A smile broke through, earnest and wide. "Falling together sounds better than drifting apart." Jada let out a soft laugh, half in disbelief, half in relief. It echoed in the crisp air, like music lost for too long. But just as their hope began to intertwine, a commotion erupted nearby, a group of teenagers laughing and playing basketball, the sound crashing into their moment like a tidal wave. Jada's smile faltered, her gaze shifting back to the ground. Maybe we can talk more later." she suggested, her voice laced with hesitation. Sure, Alex replied, masking his own disappointment. Whenever you're ready. Jada looked up again, a glint of determination rising within her. It's just. I've been so lost, but maybe I can start finding my way back with you. If you'll help me. I will. Then maybe that's more than enough to hold on to. As they parted ways on the winding path of the park, Alex couldn't shake the lingering sense of unease. Hope blossomed, but only time would tell if they could weather the storms ahead. Would they stand together or let the moment slip away under the weight of uncertainty? He shoved his hands into his pockets, feeling the weight of the world resting on his shoulders. Each step felt like a question: was he ready to take on what lay ahead? Would Jada lean on him when the going got tough? Something fundamental was shifting, yet hope mingled with fear. As shadows deepened around him, Alex wondered if they could build a bridge from the ashes of hurt, or if they were just too caught in the undertow of pain. Alex walked home with his mind racing. The chill of the evening air brushed against his skin, but inside, he felt a warmth, a spark ignited by Jada's willingness to trust him again. Each step on the familiar path felt like a silent pact they both made, one forged in uncertainty yet brimming with the possibility of hope. He reached his apartment, a simple space filled with books and the slight scent of the old wood floors. The walls were lined with photographs of friends and family, memories capturing the laughter that filled his life. But as he looked around, the silence echoed, reminding him that something was missing. He poured himself a glass of water, the coolness refreshing against the heat of his building emotions. A part of him wanted to analyze every moment from their conversation at the park, replaying Jada's expressions, the hesitant smile, the soft laughter, and the glimmer of resolve in her eyes. Yet, beneath it all, he could feel the weight of her burdens, heavier still after hearing her fears. Just then, his phone buzzed, jolting him from his thoughts. It was a message from Jada, just a small reassurance that made his heart skip. Thanks for being there today. It meant a lot. Let's talk tomorrow. The simplicity of her words was like a breath of fresh air. A smile spread across his face as he typed back in a flurry, of course. Anytime. I'm here for you. After sending the message, he flopped onto his couch, staring at the ceiling. What would tomorrow bring? Would they find the courage to dig deeper into those jagged parts of her past? They had lost so much time, and he couldn't help but feel the urgency to catch up, to forge something unbreakable. As sleep fought to claim him, images of Jada flickered through his mind, less like memories and more like dreams, a bridge forming not just between their past and their present, but into an uncertain future. The next day came quickly, sunlight peeking through the curtains and spilling into the room. Alex got dressed with a renewed sense of purpose, choosing a t-shirt and jeans that felt comfortable yet just the right amount of casual for their meetup. He grabbed his keys, heart racing with anticipation mixed with trepidation. Arriving at their usual spot, a little cafe tucked away from city chaos, he spotted Jada already seated at a corner table. She wore a soft blue sweater that contrasted beautifully with her dark hair. The sight of her sent a rush of warmth through him. There was strength in her vulnerability, and today, she looked ready to share more. Hey, he greeted with a smile, slipping into the seat across from her. Hey, she returned, a slight shy smile gracing her face. So, where do we start? He asked, his voice steady despite the flutter of nerves. Jada took a deep breath, the weight of unspoken words hanging heavy in the air. There's something I've been meaning to tell you. His heart raced, anticipation tangling with apprehension. What could she possibly share that would change the course of their conversation today? Was it a step forward they'd both been longing for, or would it be a revelation that would pull them apart rather than pulling them close? Go on, he encouraged gently, sensing the gravity of this moment, but just as she opened her lips to speak, the cafe door swung open, and a familiar figure walked in, someone from Jada's past, someone who towered over her dreams and always loomed like a shadow. Alex's breath hitched, his heart dropping. Would this be the moment to build or break everything they had just begun? Jada's gaze flickered toward the entrance, her expression shifting from calm to fraught with tension. Alex followed her eyes, his heart pounding as he recognized the tall figure striding confidently into the cafe. It was Marcus, someone Alex had only heard about through Jada's hesitant words, a name that had echoed through their conversations more than once. The air in the cafe seemed to thicken, the soft clinks of cups and murmured conversation fading into a distant hum. Jada's fingers curled around her coffee cup, the knuckles turning white, as if anchoring herself against the sudden turbulence brought on by Marcus's presence. Alex turned his attention back to her, hoping to draw out that spark of determination he had seen the day before. "Are you okay?" he whispered, concern painting his tone. She managed a nod, though her eyes betrayed a storm of emotions swirling beneath the surface. "Yeah, I just didn't expect him to be here," she said, her voice barely above a whisper. I thought I'd left all of that behind." But Marcus spotted them, and a faint smile emerged on his lips, evoking a rush of memories and unresolved feelings in Jada. He approached their table with a casual confidence, a guy who epitomized everything charming but also intimidating. Alex felt an unfamiliar tension coiling inside him. What kind of man shows up uninvited to rehash the past? "Jada. It's been a while," Marcus said, his tone friendly yet laced with undertones Alex could not ignore. He leaned down, giving Jada a quick, almost familiar hug before straightening up and flashing a disarming grin in Alex's direction. "And you must be Alex. I've heard about you." "Hey," Alex replied, forcing himself to meet the man's gaze with steadiness. "Nice to meet you." "Oh come on, no need for the formalities," Marcus chuckled, his voice smooth as silk. "We're all friends here, right?" Alex couldn't help but cringe at the word friends. There was something insidious in Marcus's charm, as if he was wielding it like a weapon. He could see the way Jada stiffened in her seat, her eyes darting toward her untouched coffee. "Actually, we were just about to," Jada started, her voice faltering as she searched for the right words. "Catch up on old times?" Marcus interjected, his demeanor shifting as he locked eyes with her. "You know, I never liked how things ended between us." Alex's chest tightened. It felt like the weight of Jada's past was darkest in that moment, a cloying fog threatening to drown them both. "It's really not a good time for that," he said, feeling protective. Jada's eyes widened, surprised by the sudden boldness of Alex's reply. Marcus turned his attention back to him, eyebrows raised. "What, are you afraid I'll steal her away again?" Jada swallowed hard, her expression shifting between apprehension and the urge to assert herself. "I'm not going back to that life, Marcus," she said, her voice steadying. "I'm different now." With those words, Alex felt a spark of hope light up inside him. It was more than just a defensive stance, it was a declaration. He glanced at Jada, and for a fraction of a second, they shared a connection that felt deeper than the no-man's land they found themselves in. Yet, Marcus's gaze narrowed, a calculating glint entering his eyes. "You think you can just walk away from what we had? The past doesn't just vanish because you want it to." The air crackled with tension, as Jada fought to hold her ground. Alex could feel the fight rising within her, but there was also an undercurrent of fear. The battle lines were drawn, and he sensed that whatever happened next could change everything between them. He reached for her hand, intertwining their fingers, an act of defiance against the dark shadows of the past. "You don't have to do this alone," he reminded her softly, his voice low and steady. For a moment, Jada's expression shifted, clinging to his reassurance. But then she turned back to Marcus, ready to confront him head-on. The question loomed: the past could either bind them tighter or threaten to separate them once more. "Let us get out of here," Jada finally said, determination igniting her features. "I'm not doing this with you anymore, Marcus." But as they stood to leave, Marcus's voice cut through the moment like ice. "Are you sure you want to embrace the unknown, Jada? You might regret it if you don't choose wisely." The tone sent chills through Alex, and he steeled himself for whatever was coming next. Would they have the strength to break free together, or would that shadow from her past overshadow the light of their budding relationship? Jada shot Marcus a defiant look, but the moment lasted just a heartbeat before she shifted her focus back to Alex. The raw power of her determination wrapped around him, a protective bubble that they both needed. As they stepped toward the cafe's exit, Alex could feel the weight of Marcus's gaze boring into their backs like an accusation. "Just keep walking," Jada murmured, squeezing his hand tightly, her voice a whip of firmness tinged with anxiety. They pushed through the door, leaving the chaos of the cafe behind. The cool air hit them like a splash of water, and Alex took a deep breath, tasting freedom mixed with adrenaline. Jada slowed her pace, glancing back, as if the very act of leaving was a leap off a high dive. "What if he follows us?" Jada asked, her voice shaky now that they were away from the confrontation. "He won't," Alex said, though he couldn't shake the feeling that Marcus was more like a shadow than a person, ever present, lurking just outside the light. "You stood your ground, Jada. That's huge. You told him you're different." Jada exhaled, some tension releasing from her shoulders. "I thought I could avoid the past, but here he is." Her voice broke, revealing the hurt she'd battled for so long. "Look at me," Alex urged, stopping to face her. "You are not that girl anymore. You have a choice now. We can keep moving forward." As tears welled in her eyes, his heart raced. Would she believe him? Would she trust him? This was his moment, the tipping point where they either flourished or floundered. "Do you really think I can?" she whispered, vulnerability spilling out. "Yes," he said firmly. "You can. We have the future ahead of us, whatever that looks like." He stepped closer, lowering his voice. "I want to let him take you away from me. You're stronger than you think." For a moment, Alex thought he might see a flicker of hope dance in her gaze, but it vanished quickly, replaced by uncertainty. "But what if he brings up everything I've tried to forget? What if he proves I'm still that girl?" Her breath hitched, and Alex felt the tremor in her voice. "You've already faced that storm," he said. "You've conquered it. You can't let someone else's version of you dictate your worth. Look at what you've built from the ashes." In that moment, Alex allowed himself to be vulnerable too. "And just being here with you today. It means everything to me." They stood in silence, the world around them fading as they existed in that small bubble of shared honesty. Slowly, Jada breathed deeper, her resolve returning. "You're right. I can't let him win." "Let us keep walking," Alex suggested. "We could grab lunch somewhere else, maybe somewhere he wouldn't even think to look." "Yeah," Jada smiled, the corners of her lips starting to lift as she nodded, bolstered by a newfound strength. As they walked away from the cafe, Alex felt lighter, the weight of Marcus's presence beginning to dissolve. Together, they crossed the street, hand in hand, laughter echoing in place of the tension left behind. But behind them, Marcus watched, his smile slipping away, replaced by a hardened, calculating stare. "You think this is over, Jada?" he murmured to himself, a sinister edge creeping into his voice. "You have no idea what I want to be so easily dismissed." Alex, unaware of the silent threat lurking behind them, leaned closer to Jada. "You know, you're amazing. Can I say that again? Maybe just once more." She replied, teasing him, her spirit brightening with each earnest compliment, but as they turned the corner, a different kind of tension hung in the air, a feeling that set Alex's instincts on alert. Would they truly be free, or was the past clawing at their heels, ready to pull them back into darkness? "What now?" he asked, glancing at her. Jada smiled, yet the shadows lingered in her eyes. "For now. Let us create some new memories." As much as Alex wanted to believe in their fresh start, deep within him, doubt simmered. Would those memories remain untainted? Or was Marcus only waiting for the right moment to strike again? They wandered into a quieter neighborhood, the sounds of the city fading into the background, a soft hum of life replacing the chaos they left behind. With every step, Alex felt Jada growing more confident, her laughter ringing out like a melody he was desperate to capture. It reminded him of sunny days spent at the park, where nothing mattered except the joy of being together. "Let us stop here," Jada suggested, pointing toward a small art gallery with a colorful storefront. Bright paintings splashed across the window, full of vibrant hues that seemed to leap at them. The gallery felt inviting, full of potential not unlike the two of them. "Art? I love it," he said, a smile spreading across his face as he squeezed her hand. "Let us check it out." Inside, the air was thick with creativity. Acrylics and oils danced on canvases, pulling them into worlds they'd never known. Jada wandered deeper into the gallery, her fingers brushing against the frames, admiring each piece as if it held a secret. "Wow," she breathed, stepping in front of a painting drenched in shades of blue and gold. "It's so alive." "It really is," Alex agreed, stepping closer. The tension from earlier seemed to dissolve between them, replaced by a shared appreciation for the breathtaking artwork. It was a welcome distraction, but even here, an undercurrent of anxiety bubbled. He could still feel Marcus's presence lurking at the back of his mind. As they explored the gallery, Jada's curiosity caught Alex off guard. "I used to think I wasn't creative," she said, her voice softening. "I mean, I can't even draw a straight line." "That doesn't matter," Alex replied, stepping closer. "Creativity isn't about being perfect. It's about expressing yourself. And you do that every day, you just don't see it." Jada turned to him, her eyes shining with unshed tears. "You really think so?" "Absolutely," he said, unable to contain a smile. "You're more than you ever wanted to be. You're alive, Jada. You're here, and you're fighting. That's art in its own right." Her breath caught, eyes narrowing as if searching for something deep within his words. "You make me feel like there's more to who I am," she whispered. In that moment, Alex realized how rare it was to find someone who could peel back layers of doubt and fear, revealing the beauty hidden inside. Jada was a light, and he was determined to help her shine, no matter what. "Okay, let us take a picture in front of this," he suggested, grabbing his phone. "That way we'll remember this moment. Strong, creative, and nothing can bring us down." She laughed softly, her cheeks pinkening. "I'd like that." They posed together, her laughter brightening the air, momentarily banishing the shadows. But as Alex snapped the picture, something heavy sat on his chest, a reminder that their peaceful moment was precarious. Suddenly, a loud crash echoed from outside the gallery, shattering their calm. Jada jumped, a flicker of fear sparking in her eyes. Alex felt a tightening in his stomach, instinctively reaching for her hand to anchor her. "What was that?" she asked, voice shaking. "Stay here," he urged, stepping toward the entrance as a prickle of unease snaked through him. The gallery door swung open, and they stepped out to see what had happened. But the street was empty, unsettlingly quiet except for the distant sound of sirens. Then he spotted a group of teenagers running, laughter mingling with their excitement. Nothing serious, just a little chaos in the city. He turned back to Jada, ready to reassure her, but the look on her face told a different story. "Alex," she whispered, a trembling in her voice. "What's wrong?" he asked, scanning her eyes. "It's Marcus." "I saw him before he could respond," she turned sharply, and Alex felt his heart being ripped away. Had they truly escaped the web of fear? Or was it time to face the storm head-on? Alex's world collapsed in on itself at Jada's words. He felt the ground beneath him tremble as his heart raced like a runaway train. "Where?" he demanded, scanning their surroundings, every instinct screaming at him to protect her. "He was just over there, by the corner." Jada gestured with a shaky hand before her voice broke. I thought we lost him." Panic mingled with determination as Alex squeezed her hand tighter, grounding himself in her presence. "We haven't lost him," he said, meeting her worried gaze. "Not now. But we don't have to face him alone, Jada. Together, we can figure this out." "The cafe," she whispered softly, remembering how easy it had been for Marcus to just walk in. "He could be waiting for us there." "No, Alex said firmly, shaking off the fear threatening to grip him. We're not going back. He's not going to dictate our steps. The resolute look in her eyes thawed the ice settling in his gut. What if he tries to come after us? No if. Just us. Let us keep moving forward. With Jada next to him, Alex felt a surge of courage. They started down the street, determined to forge a path free from Marcus's shadows. But with every step, the uncertainty pulsed between them, a silent war of worry and hope battling it out. They reached a small park, its greenery a stark contrast to the chaos encircling their lives. Jada looked around, searching for a place to breathe. This feels better, she said, relief washing over her features. See? There's life here, Alex smiled back, his heart warming as he watched her relax. We can make a new beginning, right here. In that moment, Alex knew they were on the precipice of something significant. He took a bold step forward, leaning closer to her. I'm not giving up. Not on you, not on us. There was an intensity to his voice, a solemn promise that they would face whatever darkness loomed together. Jada's eyes sparkled with gratitude. I feel like I can be myself, standing here with you. Because you are yourself, he replied, a grin pulling at his lips. You're brave, smart, and worthy of every dream. The warmth of her smile spread across her face, lighting up the shadows that dimmed her spirit. Yet, a hint of fear still flickered in her eyes. What if Marcus won't let go? Then we'll fight for this whatever it takes. The weight of his words hung in the air, solid and unyielding. So, we just keep going? She asked, her voice imbued with both the tremors of doubt and the strength of possibility. Yes. Yes. We just keep going. He finally let go of her hand, raising both arms excitedly as if to embrace the very essence of strength and unity swirling between them. To coffee shops, late-night challenges, crazy science experiments, and everything else that makes us who we are. Jada laughed, genuine and bright, and it tore through the anxiety wrapped around them like a worn-out blanket. You're right. And besides this journey, we're unstoppable. Yet, as they strolled through the park's winding paths, the shadows far from overcast. Alex glanced back momentarily, that nagging itch of paranoia prickling his skin. But all that met him were the leisurely sounds of laughter intertwining with the sweet rustle of leaves. As if reading his mind, Jada tilted her head. He doesn't define our journey, Alex. We do. Strength echoed in her voice as they continued onward, side by side, hearts beating in sync, no longer impending victims of Marcus's shadows but rather bold architects of their destiny. I've got your back, he reminded her, squeezing her shoulder gently. Always. But unbeknownst to them, Marcus crouched in the shadows across the street, a haunting figure watching their every move with calculated precision, an unnerving smile creeping up his lips. He wouldn't be so easily dismissed. But what remained unwavering was Alex and Jada's fierce determination to carve their path, hammering away at the constructs of fear lingering in their pasts. In that vibrant park, where echoes of laughter mingled with newfound hope, two friends took the first strides towards their future. And in a world beyond the fringes of uncertainty, they knew they wouldn't face the battles alone, and as the colors of the sunset bled across the sky, a sense of something positive ignited between them, a glow that no shadow could snuff out. This was only the beginning. Jada turned to Alex, her eyes shining like stars. Hey, let us promise to create something beautiful, okay? Together, he replied, as if sealing a pact, ready to face whatever challenges would come next with her by his side. Each step forward was a commitment to their friendship, a testament that no past could eclipse their future. They set out again, hand in hand, warding away every whisper of doubt. This was their moment to seize, and they would not let it slip away. Now is the time. If you loved this transformation, you need to subscribe immediately to the channel so you won't miss our next exclusive stories. Hit that like button now and help feed the algorithm. We can't do this without your support. Let your voice be heard in the comments and share your thoughts on how this story moved you. And don't wait not even one more second to share this video with at least 5 friends who need to witness this beautiful transformation. True fans show their love through actions, so let us get it out there.